So, we've discussed two classic social influence issues in social psychology: conformity and persuasion. This is just a single layer issue. Now, let's expand our perspective to the broader social level and discuss more complex group dynamics. Myers focuses on two key aspects here: group efficiency and group decision-making. First, let's talk about group efficiency. We all know every group consists of different numbers of individuals, but clearly a group's strength isn't just the sum of individual efforts. Does teamwork really make the dream work? Or are there lots of slackers among us? Social psychologists share our curiosity about this question. They believe different group compositions can create both social facilitation and social loafing. Through studies like rowing competitions, they found small teams working on challenging, engaging tasks with close relationships achieve high efficiency. Conversely, generic tasks evaluated as a group rather than individually lead to significant social loafing. Some people will slack off. Beyond efficiency, groups also face decision-making challenges. Are collective decisions more accurate than individual ones? Generally, group decisions are more scientific. For example, modern commercial airplanes have multiple crew members. Overall, this significantly improves safety by increasing correct emergency decision chances compared to single pilots. But we can't ignore the drawbacks of group decisions. Psychologists study failures like Titanic's sinking and Challenger explosion. They found flawed group decision-making factors in all these cases. Therefore, we should encourage diverse opinions before group decisions, not silence minority voices for quick consensus. Alright, let's summarize the second part. Individuals are shaped into specific social roles, while others and social environments constantly influence these roles. In daily life, we should minimize negative social influences and better control our own behaviors. We must also recognize that people aren't just passively shaped by society. As part of society, we also influence others and society itself. We should play active roles in teams and society to harness collective strength. While we focused on interpersonal interactions and influences, now let's explore specific relationships between individuals. Why are human relationships so complicated? This brings us to our third topic today. Myers categorizes human relationships into negative and positive types. Negative relationships involve dislike, hatred, and various forms of conflict. Positive relationships include affection, love, and altruistic help, even to strangers. First, why do dislike and hatred exist? Myers explains this primarily stems from prejudice. Whether we admit it or not, prejudice exists in our perceptions and manifests in various forms. The two most studied prejudices in social psychology are racial and gender biases. For instance, favoring our own ethnic group over others. Some companies hesitate to hire female employees. When prejudice manifests behaviorally, it becomes discrimination, racial or gender-based. These terms are undoubtedly familiar to everyone. Since the 20th century, discrimination has gradually decreased with socioeconomic progress and cultural exchanges. The increasing presence of female and Black leaders in global politics clearly demonstrates this progress. A survey shows in the 1950s, 60s, only 50% of Americans supported a Black president, but this number surpassed 90% in the 21st century. This explains how Barack Obama became America's first Black president. Though discrimination and prejudice are decreasing, they haven't disappeared.
Prejudice-fueled aggression, from street fights to ethnic wars, continues causing harm. The 20th century's 250 wars claimed 110 million lives, earning its bloodiest century title. 21st century's frequent terrorist attacks continue causing global trauma.
Reducing war casualties starts with combating prejudice and discrimination. While addressing global conflicts, social psychology focuses more on everyday aggression. Myers particularly examines media's influence on violent behavior and crime. Studies reveal violent sexual content in movies, TV, and games negatively impacts youth. Copycat behavior and herd mentality significantly contribute to rising violent crimes. Research indicates children exposed to media violence at 8 have higher adult crime rates. Myers advocates cultural reform over policing solutions for violence reduction. More police and prisons don't reduce crime, nor does war bring peace. True change requires removing toxic cultural elements and rebuilding moral foundations. Now, after discussing negative relationships, let's remember love prevails. As social beings, we crave belonging and stable relationships for fulfillment. Social psychology considers interdependent relationships fundamental to human survival. We're naturally wired to form lasting, intimate connections with others. That's why we celebrate great friendships and romantic relationships. These bonds provide crucial positive energy in our lives. So, how do we build such relationships? First, we need to understand initial attraction between people. Social psychologists say physical attraction often sparks initial interest. We naturally gravitate towards those who like and respect us. Positive early responses deepen attraction. Interestingly, similar people attract more than complementary ones. This proves the old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Now, how do we maintain established relationships? Using love as example. The book cites psychologist Sternberg's theory. Perfect love requires 3 elements: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Passion typically fades within months to 2 years. Lasting companionate love emerges if intimacy and commitment remain stable.
Modern society sees more wealth but less lasting love, with rising divorce rates.
Myers proposes the concept of cultivating love relationships. Love requires mutual nurturing from both partners. Mature love needs commitment and careful maintenance for lasting fulfillment. Positive relationships also exist between strangers, like helping unknown people in need, called altruistic behavior. Modern fast-paced life increasingly breeds social indifference.
Fewer people now help strangers spontaneously.
Myers suggests combating this through education and positive role models. In our country, Lei Feng serves as an exemplary model of altruism. We need to carry forward Lei Feng's spirit by helping those in need and spreading positive social energy. This altruism complements our existing social bonds of family, friendship, and romantic relationships. We've examined both positive and negative aspects of human social relationships. Myers suggests minimizing prejudice, hatred, and conflict while strengthening relationships and compassion to improve society. Now let's explore practical applications of social psychology in daily life. Myers highlights 2 key applications. fields, clinical psychology, and judicial systems. Social psychology methods significantly contribute to diagnosing and treating mental disorders. Conditions like depression, autism, and anxiety disorders. Myers emphasizes the crucial role of social support in mental health recovery. People with strong supportive relationships show lower mental illness risks and higher happiness levels. Social psychology also aids physical disease treatment through psychosocial interventions. Improved mental health and social connections can positively impact physical recovery processes. For example, maintaining optimism enhances cancer treatment effectiveness. Social psychology also improves medical diagnostic processes. Many clinical diagnoses rely on group decision-making. As discussed earlier, regarding group decision failures, applying social psychology methods can reduce cognitive biases and improve diagnostic accuracy. Now let's examine social psychology's application in judicial systems. Eyewitness testimony remains crucial evidence in legal cases. But psychology teaches us that seeing isn't always believing. Research shows about 0.5% of 150,000 U.S. criminal convictions annually are wrongful. Of these, 7,500 wrongful convictions, nearly 4,500 stem from mistaken eyewitness identifications. Countries including the U.S. now use social psychology-based guidelines, training law enforcement to reduce suggestive factors in suspect lineups, guiding juries toward more scientific deliberation processes. These measures improve judicial accuracy and reduce errors. Beyond existing applications, Myers' visionary explores using social psychology for global crises. He emphasizes psychosocial crises over environmental, economic ones.
So progress brings psychological distress rather than fulfillment.
This triggers various social problems. How do we address this? Myers answers through research and personal experience. We need supportive relationships and shared values. And courage to contribute meaningfully to society. Myers personally embodies these principles throughout his work. Now that we've explored Myers' social psychology, do you understand this field better? This book serves as a mental journey toward improving lives and communities. As Myers hopes, may readers gain wisdom for better living, to create meaningful lives filled with loving relationships and true contentment. This is the life direction we should all strive for. Alright, that concludes our exploration of this book. Find key takeaways below the audio. See you tomorrow.